So I spent a lot of the first portion of my career in the research lab, and one of the things that I realized as I was finishing up my graduate studies and going into a postdoc is that I really liked looking at the bigger picture of things. What was the impact my research was having, or how could I think longer term about research directions? I happened to find out from a colleague about the opportunity to apply for a Congressional Science and Engineering Fellowship through the Materials Research Society and Optica, and that is an experience where a scientist can go and give policy advice on Capitol Hill. So I had the opportunity to go and work in Congress for a year, and it really gave me the opportunity to see what was beyond the research lab. And even though I didn't stay in Congress longer term, it set me on a path to do something a little more oriented towards the bigger picture. And it's the career path that I think was ultimately the right choice for me. In addition to having a congressional fellowship, I had the opportunity to work at the National Science Foundation. I worked at a nonprofit before I ended up at Berkeley Lab. And I think along the way, there were a lot of different pivots and career decisions I had to make. I had a long-term goal originally of being a professor, and I think learning along the way what different options were outside of staying in academia was really important. My role at Berkeley Lab today allows me to combine a lot of things: my materials research background, my experience with public policy, with communications, and the bigger picture, and I can combine all of those things in the roles that I have today. Diversity, equity, and inclusion in material science is a really important topic. One of the things that I talked about in my talk today was how important it is that we focus on workplace culture. We can go to a lot of effort to recruit more diverse people into our organization, but if we're not welcoming and inclusive of different people, backgrounds, and ideas once they get there, then we're really just going to lose people out of the pipeline. One of the things that I work on at Berkeley Lab as part of our diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts is workplace culture. So we talk about work-life balance, we talk about psychological safety, feeling comfortable to bring up new ideas in our work environment and meetings. We talk about microaggressions and how to be an upstander, to step in when someone might have inadvertently talked over someone or given credit to not the original person who brought up an idea. While some of these things seem small, I think that they are incremental. They are building up over time, and I think making these small improvements are really part of the bigger picture to making sure that we have an inclusive workplace that is welcoming of diversity. One of the things that's been really important to me in my career, especially the last 10 years, has been to be involved with MRS as a volunteer. When I first finished my congressional fellowship, I joined the Government Affairs Committee. I later got involved in our sustainability efforts and have chaired the Focus on Sustainability subcommittee for the last 6 years. For me, it was important to give back to the society, especially after they sponsored the Congressional Fellowship that really changed the path of my career. And it's really been an opportunity for me as well to get to try out leadership skills in a different environment than my day job. I can try out new things, new ways of leading, new ideas, and it's a safe environment. Being in a role that is outside the research lab, I love being able to come to the MRS meeting every year and interact with the material scientists, and it really feels like home.